Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the letter G for great, groovy, gnarly, which starts with a G, not an N. So band-wise, this is 274 bands. It's a little band heavy, but takes a little bit more to get some of the shape. Don't forget that when you're making these, to make them your own, use the different color, the multicolor bands, wrapped bands, anything to kind of give it a little bit of flair to you. But we will make this. It is on one loom, so the wrong end of the loom towards me. We mostly work on 4 pins, but then we do expand a little bit out, so kind of don't start on this end. Somewhere down here is fine. But you'll want your bands, and we work from this end of the G around to the inside. So everything is double banded. So we'll start with making our little X. So 2 bands across, and 2 bands right on top. Then our cap band on each side of our pins up here. It's 2 bands wrapped around one time. Same thing for the other side. 2 bands wrapped around one time. Then we'll take our hook. I'm going to go in through the cap band on the right because that's where the band is on the bottom. Go in through, grab those 2 bottom bands, pull them all the way back towards themselves across the loom, and then do the same thing on the other side. Like that. Then we're going to do a row all the way around with 2 bands. That. Flip the bottom 4. This design does have a lot of repetition in it again. I think all of them do to a point just because of how they're made, but hopefully you're not too annoyed by the constant telling you to do this over and over again. So, and speaking of that, we're going to start. So we're going to start with doing the half rows and the rows with the curve. So it's going to be, our half rows are going to be on the left, bottom, and right. 2 bands, so left, bottom, and right. And then when we flip for the half rows, we're only flipping the bottom 2 pins, so the 4 bands that are on there. We don't do anything with the top pins. Then we're going to do another half row right on top, so left, bottom, and right. Flip the bottom 2 bands, bottom 2 pins, but 4 bands. Then we are going to do a row all the way around, 2 bands. Like that. Now for flipping, you're going to have the 4 bands from the half row, and then the 4 bands from the row before that, and the 4 bands below, and then the same thing on the other side. So it's 8 bands total to flip on the top 2 after we do our half rows, and then 4 here. So you want to push those down, and now you want to take your hook and go in through the center area, and you want to pull up the portion underneath here that's stuck. Off the pin. It'll let me. Just pull it up. You don't have to get it up super far, but just so it's off of the pin and not totally stuck on there like it was, because it says does grow up. Alright, so another half row, left, bottom, and right. Flip the bands on the bottom 2 pins, so 4 here and 4 here. another half row, left, bottom, and right. Flip the bottom 2 pins, then a row all the way around, 2 ends, like that. And the same thing, you'll have 8 on the back pins to flip over, and 4 on the lower. Like that. And again, half row. Flip the bottom, 2 pins, another half row, flip the bottom 4 on the bottom 2 pins, another row all the way around, like that. Then flip the 8 on the top pin and the 4 on the lower. Like that. And again, half row. Flip the bottom 4 on the bottom 2 pins. And another half row. 2 bands. Left, bottom, and right. Flip the 4 on the bottom 2 pins. Then a row around. And you'll have 8 on the top to flip and 4 on the lower. Alright, so we're done with that for a little bit. So now we're going to go do rows all the way around times 4, so 2 bands all the way around. That, and you'll flip the bottom 4 on all the pins, not bands. So there's 1, flip the bottom 4, it's 2, flip the bottom 4, That's 3. One more. Like that. And flip the bottom 4 again. So now we're going to start with the, basically where we're down here already. So we have to do some of the half rows again to get the curve around the other side. So again, be the left, bottom, and right. So 2 bands. In those spots. And again, flip the bottom 4 on the lower pins only. And another half row right on top. Left, bottom, and right. Flip the bottom 4. Then a row all the way around. Then flip the 8 on the top pin and 4 on the lower pin. Like that. Same thing again, another half row. So 2 bands. On the left, bottom, and right. Flip the 4 on the bottom 2 pins. Another half row. Left, bottom, and right. And the bottom 4 on the bottom 2 pins. Now do a row all the way around. Eight on the top. I won't do it. And 4 on the bottom. And again, half row. Left to bottom and right. Looks like my cat found a colored pencil. Flip the bottom 2. She's an artiste. Another half row. Flip again the bottom 2 pins. Then a row all the way around. Maybe 8 on the top pins, 4 on the bottom, I'm sure you've probably got it by now, but I'm in a rhythm of telling you the same thing over and over again. So, half row, left, bottom, and right. Flip over the bottom two. Another half row. Flip the bottom two. Then a row all the way around. Eight on the top pins. 4 below. Alright, and one more time with the half row combination thing. So, left, bottom, and right. Clip the bottom 4. And again with the half row. Left, bottom, and right. Flip the bottom 4 on the bottom 2 pins. Then a row all the way around. Eight on the top pin, 4 on the lower. Okay, so now we're at the point where we're going to do the little jutting in of the G. So to get that effect, we're going to do a little X right here, away from, like if you have, looking at it, so on this side. So 2 bands. I'm going to start on the left, come over to the right. Same thing, 2 bands from the right to the left. And then once again, you're going to want the cap bands, 2 bands wrapped around one time on the far pins, like that. Then we'll loom these out. So I'm going to go in through the cap band on the right pin because that's the band that's on the bottom. And same thing on the left. Like that. Now we're going to do 3 rows all the way around the entire portion right here. 2 bands. Like that. So then for flipping bands, it'll be 4 on the top one. And this middle one, you're going to have the 4 from the X row that we put on, and then the 4 from the row before. And then 4 on the last pin. And it's the same thing on the other side. 4, and there's 8 on the middle, and then 4 again. So that's 1 row. 2 more to go. 2 bands all the way around. Like that. And this time it'll be the bottom 4 all the way around. I'm going to do one more row the exact same way. 2 bands all the way around. Like that. Then flip the bottom 4. Now we're ready to close, so you want to get this unstuck. So just pull it off the pins, pull up carefully so you don't pull it off the loom. So once you have this, we're going to do kind of the braiding, weaving, closing thing. Let's pull this back. I'm going to go in through the right side, take the bands off the pin, put them on my hook, then go in through the left side, do the same thing. Then I'm going to put the bands on the left side through the right side. Then I'll come back to the right, pull those through what's on my hook, then go to the left, pull those through what's on my hook, and just alternate on the way down. And then once I get to the last 2 that are on my hook, I'll just take, you can take 1 or 2 bands, your preference, and pull them through everything that's left on my hook. Both bands on, make a slip knot, and pull tight. Then I want to take this and hide it before we do any changes. I'm just going to stick my hook up through somewhere, come up next to my knot, and pull the bands down into so they're kind of flush. Give it a stretch. So you may need to do some adjusting after you get it off, stretching it. Looking at this one, I can definitely see these are 2 different bands again that I tried using. These are Rainbow Loom and these were Wonder Loom. So obviously they produced a different size kind of result and a different gap in the portion right here. I know I can't make the pattern perfect for every single band type out there, and so I'm kind of showing you this because if this happens to you, I don't want you to be disappointed that, well, it doesn't look, it's not the same, it's kind of different, and what happened. And to fix this, either you can keep trying to stretching it and adjusting it. You might be able to kind of tuck up maybe a row up in here just by taking your hook and grabbing like a portion of something from the end there and just kind of pulling it back inside. That'll create a little bit more room there. That might not ultimately be enough. You could try reducing a little, doing the same thing down below, but this one down below is not really the best place to try to do that. But you can try and pull it down tight below. The other option I would have for you, although it's not ideal, if it really won't stay, because like I'm pretty happy with that shape right there, but if it really is overlapping or it's just touching and you can't get it to move apart, I would suggest taking a pipe cleaner, folding it in half, and then just threading it along the inside of the G, and then you can use the pipe cleaner to stabilize the shape how you want it. So, of course, I never like showing something that isn't perfect, but I know that other people, not everybody uses the same specific brand of bands that I do, or has access to them, for one, because a lot of places don't have access to all the bands that everybody else does. But so it's the same pattern. It comes out to the right shape. It's just that with the different banding, you of course can try and make it a little bit bigger or adjust it how you need to for your bands. But I think that with the just pulling it out enough, and then possibly using the pipe cleaner to get it to hold its shape if you have any issues. But these, like I said, were Rainbow Loom brand, and this is the Wonder Loom brand, which are technically from the same company, but I think it still turns out fabulous. Great. So I love it still. But I want to thank you very much for watching. If you make some words out of the lovely letters that I've been showing you, that would be fantastic if you would share them with me on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook, which is feelinspiffy. And then, of course, it would be grandiose if you would, I don't know if that's the right word, grand, we'll just go with grand. It would be grand if you would subscribe to my channel here. I always appreciate when you guys do that. But I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will have more for you soon.